Hello gamers! Welcome to our next video. This video will be about how to get a million fast. Doing it with Vouchers and Writworthy as an add-on. Today we are at the beautiful guild house of the Storm Wolves. We're gonna make a fantastic gear with master writs, and with that gear we're gonna go to Deshan in this case, and we turn him into Rolis, Lalu and Faustina, his beloved assistant, and making sure that vouchers, beautiful vouchers from it. So what is the deal with the vouchers and how to turn them into gold? One thing that's really important is you need to do your master writs, and for that you have to get your crafting skills at level 50. In my inventory, under consumables, I have all kind of sealed writs, master writs as they call them. Those sealed writs all give a reward, in this case 2 writ vouchers for an alchemy writ. The blacksmithing ones, the purple ones, are getting a bit more, and the gold ones giving the most. To do those kind of things, it's very important that you have the right motives. So if you check this out, for instance, this one says you need to craft Rubberite Greaves, Quality Epic, Trade Nernhood, Set, Twilight's Embrace, Style, Orc. So you need to have the right style, and the style is in this case Orc, and of course you need to be able to craft Nernhound, and that's required to go to Craglawn, etc. and get your Nernhound quality, as well as that you have to do all your research on your crafting character and make sure they have enough traits, especially the Nernhound trait in this case, to make this. So that's a purple one. Another one should be like this, and it says this is the legendary. Instead of 15 writ vouchers, it gives you 91, and for this you need to be able to have the Khajiit style, and of course you need to have the table available of critical riposte. Now those are available in the world, but in this guild house from the Storm Wolves, they have all the crafting tables, whole rows here. If you pull back, you see all those tables, and they are in alphabetical order, and they gave you the opportunity to do all of them. So a very helpful tool, what we're gonna use here, is called an add-on Writworthy. So you have to install that by Minion, and Minion is an application that allows you to install add-ons for ESO and also for other games like World of Warcraft. In this case, we of course use it for this beautiful game ESO, and once you installed it, you can access it by pressing enter, / type in Writworthy, and one of those things is already coming up, and then you get a screen when you press enter, and it tells you what is possible and what not. So this is another check before you start this whole process. As you can see, all of those are beautiful in white, and all the white ones we are able to craft. There's also a red one. I did that for this video purpose, of course, and that says you don't have the right materials, or in this case I do have the right materials, but I don't have the possibility to craft Shield of Essential. And how do you find that out? If you go out of this screen, then it still appears. This appears until you press cross. So we're gonna check. This is about blacksmithing, the 2-handed maul. I hover over my blacksmithing things, and here it is. It says motive Shield of Essential is not known. So very helpful to do this Writworthy thing. It makes you doing the vouchers a lot easier. So because I can't do it, I will destroy this. Are you absolutely sure? Yes, I am. I'm planning to get a lot more. So, and then you have to close this again, type in Writworthy again, and then you will see that it's gone. So to make sure you do all of those, you have to press NQ all. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pressing NQ all. Then it tells me I have Q35 rich. With this the value is 1060 vouchers I can earn with this. Well, I'm aiming for 1000, and I will explain later why exactly 1000, because that will allow us to get an easy million. That brings me to the jewelry crafting writs. They always think, and you always have an idea, oh, that's a nice fast shot, it gives me 28 vouchers, so that adds up really quick. But you have to remember, and everybody is free to make his own choices in that the gold, the worth of the materials versus what you get out of the vouchers is for jewelry crafting always negative, meaning that if you do those crafting writs, you get vouchers for it, and you want to buy for those vouchers good stuff and then sell it, and that's the way that we're gonna make a million very fast. Then with the jewelry, if you would sell that separately, then often the jewelry materials are more worth than the making of the vouchers that you could sell. I will still make them for this video purposes, but just keep in mind that it's for the jewelry crafting. I think in this case I would advise against it with the current prices. To make it really easy, you will still see the screen writworthy in your. Now I can find my way in this guild house almost blind. What you're gonna do is you walk up here to those three. There's a jewelry crafting station, enchanting table, and an alchemy station. The jewelry crafting station won't be very helpful in this case, because that requires, if you make the jewelry once, that requires that you have to go to the tables over there, because those are related to a certain set. But the general ones for enchanting, for alchemy, and for the cooking, you can do those here. If you press on the table, it automatically will make those. I'll show you. Here it goes. You will hear the sound and it's acting on it. You can also see that he's making now all the potions that we need. And then, of course, the last one, cooking fire, is making all the things that we need. The picture shows something else, but on the top you see that he's making the things that are required for the master writs. Now, when you have all those, I'm gonna make a check. Do we have everything we need? I'm gonna sort them by station here in the upper right corner. I'm gonna check, do we have all our enchantments? Yes, alchemy, provisioning, all those are done. So because I sorted out by station, that means that he's doing it on alphabetical order, so Alicia's first. That's the third column from the left, and then critical riposte, that's wind, and so on and on and on. So I know this now, so I will walk up to the tables. And the first one we needed to do was Alicia. Alicia needs wood, so what works for me is that I put it a bit down here. Of course, close my chat box, that's really annoying. You can see we are at Alicia's bulwark, we needed to do woodworking, so let's press use. And here you will see in the screen that it's making what is needed. So the next one is critical riposte. We're walking up, you can see it's all done in alphabetical order, like I said. We need the blacksmithing here, and if you press it, it will make everything you need. So I will do all those stations, and I will give one more example. The next is Deadwind. So we walk up to Deadwind. Step one, we need woodworking, a bow and arm cups. So let's start by the woodworking. And again, you will see he's making it perfectly, doing the clothing station, also making the arm caps, and of course then we haven't done the jewelry yet, also this one. And that's how you do all of them. And the last one, the Spectre's Eye clothing station, will give us the arm caps. One more check. We're bringing this back to the middle. And how does it look? We completed it all. All the queues are done. So let's turn those vouchers in. Click this away. There we go. For me, it works best to go to Wayrest or to Deshan. In this case, I will go to Deshan because that will go the fastest way. So when you arrive in Deshan, Rolis and Faustina are at the merchants in the right down corner of the city map. So what you have to do now is go into your inventory. In your inventory you see your sealed writs under the bottle consumables, and here it says all craftings are complete. So to access to the vouchers and get the quest done, there's a process. You right click on, in this case, the sealed Algemir writ, put use, accept the contract, press I again, go to the next one, not the same, but the next, in this case blacksmithing, press use, accept the contract, and you can do that for every different writ type. Accept the contract, then go to enchanting, jewelry, provisioning, and that was the last one. Now before you proceed, I highly suggest that if you have it available, take an experience scroll. In my case, I will take the Grand Gold Coast experience scroll. It gives 150% experience. I'm gonna tap it. The golden shower. And now we're going to roll this to turn those in. As soon as you press talk, you will see that very fast it goes on, and you keep repeating this process until you have them all done. Here we go with the last two. Cloche Writ, accept it, talk to Rolis, and we are done. So for the watch viewer, you saw that I brought them in when I was level 1827, and as you can see now I'm 1829 and almost 1830, so that's quite a good experience boost, but the main reason we are here is to getting a lot of gold. We spent some and now we want to have gold.
None of us is getting
you're going to
younger.
Rolis Lalu. And the idea is that you can buy stuff here and sell it for a lot. So as you can see, the prices here are coming from Tamriel Trade Center. And if you would buy Alchemy Station, you could actually sell it for 40,000. And you need 35 of those. So with the idea in your mind that you can sell it quite fast, or at least sell it in time, that will give you the possibility with those 1060 writs that we have here to buy quite a few alchemy stations and sell them. I have to say, of course, that is possible, but that might not go very fast. Other things like blueprints here, the Leyland divider, for instance, or more like the furnishing or the Deadlands torture racks, those are items, as you can see, that for 125 it gives quite a lot of money. So that formula, right, 125 Blackwood Cottage, 170,000 gold, yeah, that could go quite nicely. And so on and on. Of course, those kind of things. A target Centurion Dwarf Brass for 275. If you manage to sell this, then this would give you around 700,000 or 650,000 gold for 275. That's quite a good balance between what you put into this and what you can get out of it. So 275. For this video purpose, we will do tunable stations. So for 250 vouchers, you can get a price of 300,000 or 250,000. So we have 1,000 vouchers. I'm gonna buy 4 each of every one. So let's do that. Make sure you do the right thing and not click double. That's easily done. I always press right buy, and then it says here that I have one. Press right and buy. One. Press right and buy. I also want to buy an tunable jewelry station. And again, a tunable means that once you buy it, you can attune it to the sets station where you're at, and then put it in your house or guild house. So how that works is a different video. So the other one that you have to buy is the jewelry. That's available at Faustina. She also sells quite good stuff for those. Well, you can see everything that you can sell is like this, 100, and you can sell it for 140, and so on and on. We're gonna buy the attunable jewelry crafting station. Again, right click, buy, and now we have 4 of those. So the next thing to do is go to the guild store, available at a bank. That's where we're gonna head now. Try to sell it in a guild store that has access to a trader over Tamriel. So that's accessible, of course, for all the other players that's playing ESO in your realm. And in that way you could sell it a lot faster. Otherwise you can only sell it in your own guild and only accessible for guild members. So to make sure you get that million, sell it at a guild that has a trader. We are gonna sell it at guild the Stormwolves. We arrived at Silverthroat, the banker in Deshan. So we're gonna talk to him, press guild store, sell, and there we have our 4 attunable stations. So add to the listing. If you want to make sure you sell it, don't get too far over the price. Sometimes it works, I have to say, but in this case we're gonna sell those for 275,000 gold. That's nicely in the middle of the price, 250, 330. So list the items in the Guild of Stormwolves. They have a trader, and do this for all 4 of those. Here's the last. Filled up all my selling slots. Done, and now it's like waiting. I see something to grow, and in this case to sell. I hope you can sell those things within a week or a couple of days. Most of the time it goes well. And remember, it's not always have to be like attunable stations, because if everybody would do that, the price would lower a lot. But you can also buy other stuff. Make sure it's not bound what you want to sell when you go to the Rolis or Faustina. Make sure you do stuff that is actually sellable and not character bound or whatever. I hope this works out for you as well. So have a fantastic time in this beautiful game. Subscribe here, make sure you like it, and join the Stormwolves. Have a nice time. See you in game. Wolves and gamers, bye bye.